Dyslexic Dad here. The previous video, I hope you get a chance to watch it, was on, kind of the end of the relationship, what's going on from the narcissist's perspective, and why most of the time they just never actually end things. They just kind of run things into the ground, and will continue doing that, basically forever. So I wanted to touch on what I refer to as the roller coaster, 'cause that's what it felt like to me, and what is commonly known as the cycle of love bombing. Some depending on if you want to call it honeymoon period. Then the discard, or sometimes called pullback, or I'm sorry, devalue, pullback, and then the discard, which is just, I've used you up, I'm done. So, one thing I wanted to make clear is that this is my great chart. I made this myself. So in, my relationship, and it sounds like it's, similar to the typical narcissist relationship, the two of you meet, okay, and oh my gosh, it's magic. They're your soulmate. Everything just seems to click. There's really no conflict at all, and there's just weird synchronicities, and it's like the two of you were made for each other. Now I'm gonna go for a bit of a tangent here. So like a lot of people, that sounds like your typical love bombing honeymoon period for a narcissistic relationship. One thing that I heard, and it made sense, is that the reason that this happens the way it does is because the narcissist is actually mirroring you. How's that for devious? So when you say, oh, I really like dancing. Oh my God, I love dancing too. I really love, going up into the mountains. They're so beautiful. I love going up into the mountains. The trees are so beautiful. I love hearing the wind blow through the trees. I love going to new restaurants and trying new foods. Oh my God, I'm a total foodie. I love going to new restaurants. On and on and on and on. And so the whole time you're just like, wow, everything's just clicking and clicking and clicking. They're mirroring you. For the manipulation starts the moment you meet the narcissist. If they choose you, they go into mirror mode. And so this part is heaven. I mean, I'll be honest, and I'm sure other people will say it too. It's just like, this part is magical. And if you have not been love bombed by a narcissist, you don't know what you're missing. It is like, just like, romance, or, some novel about love just come to life. Just everything is perfect. So here's an interesting thing. So the love bomb goes 6 weeks, 12 weeks. In my experience, it was about 5 to 6 months, because we weren't able to see each other very often because of our living arrangements. So this honeymoon magical love bombing period is happening, and then something odd happens. So the whole time you're in this period, you're thinking, oh my, I can't believe this is real. It's like someone went into my mind and took the perfect person and put them in front of me. This is amazing. And so you're just kind of in this state of awe and just giddy joy. And then after, like I said, like 6 months, you get to a point where you go, wait a minute, this is real. Like, this is happening to me. This isn't a romance novel. This isn't, something, a dream come true. This is actually reality. And this is a person who's real. And you know what? This connection we have, this relationship, it's real. I feel grateful. I feel thankful. I'm accepting that this is the relationship that I'm in. Boom. As soon as you reach that point where you accept the magic, where you accept everything just kind of clicking, everything flowing, working out perfectly, it's almost like the narcissist has an antenna, and they sense that. And so as soon as you get to the point where you're like, this is nice. This is nice. I'm going to be comfortable and just enjoy this relationship. As soon as you reach that peak and you become comfortable, that is when the first pullback happens. That is when the roller coaster starts happening. And it's a slow, again, for my personal experience, a slow descent. Some people, it might be over the course of a year or two. Some people, it might be over the course of 10 to 20 years. It just depends on your circumstances and the relationship. So you have your love bombing, / honeymoon period, if you want to call it that. And then kind of the point at which you become comfortable and the narcissist senses it. And then the pullback, the devalue, and the discarding happens. And they become more distant and more distant, more neglectful, and depending on the relationship you're in, more abusive and insulting and demeaning and disrespectful. So this is, this graph represents like kind of the relationship as a whole. One thing that I wanted to point out was that in reality, and this is something that sometimes is not really explained to the degree I think it should be, is that what actually happens, you have your like love bomb honeymoon period, the point at which you become comfortable and they sense it, and then their first pullback. And they do a little bit of devalue, they're neglecting you, kind of don't, return your text or phone calls very quickly. Suddenly they're busy, maybe a little bit rude, and then you kind of stun shock. But this is like, whoa, this is very surprising, especially after this period of bliss. And so you just kind of let it go. You're a little bit dizzy, but then boom, the love bomb. Hey, why don't you come over for Friday? I'll cook you dinner. We'll have, a nice time on the couch. We can then, go to the clubs afterwards. It'll be great. And you're like, oh my God, this is great. My old partner's back. And so you go, bloop, you're back up. And then you enjoy that. And then you have, a great time that evening. You have a great time at the club. You go dancing. You go home. And then the next day, they've pulled back. And you're kind of confused. You're like, what? We just had this great night out. Why are they being, just kind of off? And they get back to you and they start talking, and, they kind of get back, into the groove of the relationship and stuff. And they, say, hey, how about this weekend we go to the museum? Yeah, that sounds like fun. And the love bombing, goes up. Or they'll say, oh my God, they'll start using the lines from the original, like, honeymoon periods. They're like, you're my dream come true. You're my soulmate, boom, raise it. So I refer to this as the roller coaster, and this for me was the worst part of the entire relationship with my ex-girlfriend. Was that this roller coaster was, yeah, I mean, everyone can make fun of me. This was 4 years. This was 4 years that I was on the roller coaster. And each day I woke up, I didn't know if I was going to get Jekyll or Hyde. And because it was such a slow descent, my mind was just muddled and confused, and I didn't really know what was going on. And the confusion just continued as time went on. So, one thing I do want to point out that, with these type of graphs, you're like, okay, you have your love bombing, your honeymoon period, the kind of the descent, the devalue, the discard, and boom, the end. But like I said on the previous video, that's not what really happens. Like this roller coaster, this like jagged line, it typically goes on forever. It will go on until you in the relationship. It will get worse and worse and worse, but they will not end the relationship, because to them they're like, why? I've got this schmuck, this loser. I don't have to treat them with respect. I don't have to meet any of their wants or needs in the relationship. I don't have to have, there's no reciprocity. I can basically, tell them what to do, and, almost, basically like make demands upon them and guilt trip them, manipulate them to do what I need. Why would I get rid of that? To the narcissist mind, you're a very nice tool for them. You're a very nice, couch to put in the living room. I can lay on that couch when I want. It's nice, but yeah, I don't value it. It's just there. So I hope that this video on the cycle of the narcissistic relationship, and my previous one that I touched upon the ending of the relationship, have been helpful, and I'll continue to make more videos soon. Thanks.